All right, music fans, welcome. Harmless Dave here talking real music in real time for real people just like you and just like me. All right, before I get going, this came out last year, so yeah, I'm a little bit behind, but I wanted to promote it today. Robert John and the Wreck. This is Shine a Light on Me, Brother. Um, Traditional Americana roots soul. Um, it's just really good music, and they don't make a lot of this where you can actually listen to it. It's kind of upside down on the CD there, but um, the keyboardist in this group goes out on tour with Toto. So, but this is nothing like Toto for the most part. But it's certainly very listenable. The guitar work is superb. The arrangements are well done. The songwriting is very, very good. Again, um, Robert, John, and the Wreck, and I'm pretty sure they've got new stuff out there as well, which I haven't caught up with as of yet. I'll be listening to that sometime, hopefully in the near future, and I can help, uh, promote that and get the word out. Lindsey Buckingham, again, people. I don't know what's going on with Lindsey Buckingham. And this isn't just a video to speculate and to sensationalize the issue here, but he's canceled a bunch of concerts again. Um, he had a run of dates through November 19th, and he was supposed to appear in Green Bay. Literally hours before the show, it was canceled. Concerts also in Eckhart, Indiana, and in York, Pennsylvania have been canceled. The show at the Paramount in Huntington, New York is still listed as happening on the Paramount site. There is no mention on Buckingham's official website or his Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram accounts of any cancellations. So that's kind of weird. Buckingham, 73, canceled the remaining shows on a European tour, citing ongoing health issues. This was back on October 2nd. And those were dates that had already been scheduled, and those were the makeup dates from earlier in the year. So they had to cancel the dates that they were making up over in Europe. And I know at least one person who was really disappointed over in Europe who was so looking forward to seeing Lindsey Buckingham. Those dates were rescheduled, it says, and members of his band and crew contracted the thing, according to Billboard. Now, you know where I'm at with this, and I've been right on the money for 2.5 years, people. Whatever you want to say about me, however you want to make fun of me, I've been right for 2.5 years. Now, what's interesting about this situation is that we're supposed to get on with our lives, right? Even the guy who pretends to be the president of the United States, who gets up there and, can't find his way off of a podium. I think at one point he said something like, we're going to just have to learn to live with this stuff. Now, if you come down with something, do you cancel an entire concert event because one person or even a couple of people? Now, look, I know in a band, you lose the keyboard player, you might have a problem. But, Lindsey Buckingham is kind of his own thing. I mean, he can go out there with a guitar and entertain people. And I'm sure the fans would appreciate him showing up rather than just, canceling the whole thing. Maybe he goes out there with just the bass player. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's Lindsey and the drummer. Maybe it's just Lindsey. Now, what I'm thinking, though, is there could be something else going on. And because we're in this age, right, where you can't tell the truth about certain things. And on this one, they'll put it out there that they're doing this out of, safety and precautions for the audience, Well, I thought everybody in the audience went to Walgreens, right? So what's the issue? I mean, they've again moved the goalposts down to the end zone, and the only place they can really try to say anything how this is supposed to be helpful is that maybe if you contract the thing, you won't die. That's about all they've got. Maybe. And then those of us on the other side are thinking to ourselves, well, all these people that did their quote unquote due diligence, they continue to run into problems. And every time you put out the word, and by the way, this isn't on any of the more prominent rock websites. Someone sent this to me, and it's kind of like B list or C list websites. I mean, does anyone go to MSN.com for their news these days? I mean, it's just, yeah, no, most people don't do that. So, and I've been tracking this now for a while. The people in Europe, you schedule these events and people buy tickets, they make plans. And I'm thinking, if I'm that artist, I'm going to make something happen for those fans. Oh, but Dave, you're going to put them at risk and it's dangerous and horrible. Just all of the things that we thought were true about this have turned out to be incorrect. Like the way it goes from one person to another person. It's incorrect. What you were told, all of those things are incorrect. And I know that, you catch a lot of flack from people who now have, Stockholm syndrome. They're still walking around where I live, wearing underwear on their face. Seriously, they're still doing it. And I'm like, there's no laws in place, there are no rules, there are no restrictions. Everything has pretty much died. The hysteria has died down. But yet you read stories like this, and there's a group of people, there's a segment of the population that is never going to let this go. This was too traumatic. This was too big of a deal. That's why, I think the word reparations applies to people who were hurt by this financially, who were hurt by this psychologically. I know there are some people out there that don't believe in psychology anymore because it's too difficult, and it doesn't work for this situation, that people could have this sort of mass formation psychosis going on. But I see it. I'm out in the public almost every day because, I'm really not that important and nobody cares if I go out in public. In fact, I'd rather stay home because people have changed a lot. People are not the same. They were different before all this happened. And it's not everybody, but it's a growing segment of the population that is hysterical about every issue. And so again, we have this election coming up on Tuesday. And, I've noticed, the rock media, they're going to try to ignore the election. Their boy, who can, again, barely navigate off the stage after he does a speech. And this is who they promote. They constantly, they tear anyone else down, and they just lift this guy up like he was the greatest thing that happened to this country. And if you think things are better now than they were 2.5 years ago, and again, I'm not saying you have to like Donald Trump or anything. All I'm saying is you look A, 2.5 years ago, B, right now. It's a completely different world. And these stories about concerts being canceled when, again, a lot of people can't cancel going to work. They can't cancel getting up and doing what they're supposed to do each day. Now, I get that. This is entertainment, and people are going to maybe escape from the Stockholm syndrome for a little while. I mean, I think that's what people want. They want to get out. They want to enjoy a concert. And then, the narrative collapses back in on them, and they realize that, oh, this is just never going to go away. Bottom line is, I hope this isn't about Lindsey Buckingham. Maybe it's somebody in his road crew. Um, but it seems like this has been an ongoing problem. In fact, they used the term ongoing health issues back on October 2nd. Now, I had this little theory that Fleetwood Mac, maybe they'll come together again one more time. And I'm thinking 2023, it would be the year to do it. Now, Stevie Nicks is booking shows. She has a big concert with Billy Joel, of all people, scheduled next year. So it's kind of full steam ahead for Stevie. And I think Lindsey is trying to be the same. I don't think anybody else in Fleetwood Mac is really all that active. I'm kind of surprised that Mick Fleetwood isn't up to something. But John and Christine McVie, I don't think they are in on that at all. I think they would probably just assume that it's over. But for a lot of fans, one more Fleetwood Mac tour, I think, would kind of put things to rest, give some closure to the whole Lindsey versus Stevie thing. And to Stevie Nicks' credit, I typically don't give her a lot of credit. She's been out there performing. She sounds pretty good. And the shows are well attended, and people seem to be pretty happy with her performance. I don't know. I would want to see Fleetwood Mac before I would spend money on Stevie, and I would probably want to see Lindsey before I would go out and spend money on Stevie Nicks. But that's just me. The whole thing is problematic, though. And as these people get older and they're further away from their rumors era self, it just doesn't sound the way it used to sound. But I would still go see Fleetwood Mac, probably for the onstage drama and or chemistry or lack thereof between Stevie and Lindsey. I think that would be a show-stopping event to get them back on stage together. But Lindsey with these health issues, I just hope it's not going to be one of those SADS syndromes. I just pray that the dude is going to be okay and that this isn't just sort of a long-term problem that has no resolution. And if that's the case, then, he should probably get off the road and try to get healthy and figure out how to mitigate what many are calling, these after effects that just never go away. And I'm not talking about the thing. I'm talking about, what they told you to do when you had to go to Walgreens and CVS. Or it could be both, The whole thing to me just seems like it doesn't have an end point. And it's really tragic. So, hoping Lindsey is okay and makes a full and complete and ongoing recovery, like the ongoing health issues. Let's hope that it's a permanent recovery and that he's out there again touring. And who knows about Fleetwood Mac? It doesn't look good, though. It doesn't look good. I'm still hopeful that something might happen next year, but I wouldn't hold your breath, right? So here it is, Robert John and the Wreck. These guys, I think, do a lot of touring, and this is like the next generation of, music that isn't necessarily like Fleetwood Mac, but it's kind of in that wheelhouse to some degree. More soul-oriented, maybe a touch of blues in there, Americana, just good music, It's not hair metal, but it's still really good. So check this out if you have a chance. They've got new material out there. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for subscribing and keeping the channel going. I need your support. I need your patronage. If you ever thought about joining Patreon, it's $1 a month. And I can use your help over there. Subscriptions are down. Finally, the channel went over 62K. But that took way too long. Things are just slowing down like I've never seen before. And I'm hoping, that the algorithm, maybe after the election, maybe I'm getting punished for my viewpoints here. Maybe things will change after the election. But here's the deal. Go vote like your life depends on it. your vote might not matter. It might it might just be a mirage to kind of tie this into Fleetwood Mac. The whole thing might just be a game at this stage, but I would do it anyway, just in case it's not. And then you can all get really black pilled after that, and we can all commiserate together and plot our secession from planet Earth. I don't know. At least from the country that once was America. You know, I think it's time for a peaceful divorce among the tribes. And you do your thing, we'll do our thing, and we'll see who wins, right? That's how I would prefer to do it. All right, way over time here. Thanks for watching. See you soon.